We all know the richest man in the world, this guy, Elon Musk. When you look at the family photos Elon Musk has posted with his family, you always see everybody including his mother, but you never see his dad. Obviously his dad is not dead, he's still with us. This is Elon's dad, Elon Musk. And just like his son, he's pretty much a genius in the engineering department. Elon Musk doesn't talk about his dad very much, and sometimes he even calls him evil. Let's turn back some time and get to know Elon's dad. Elon Musk was born in 1946 in the city of Pretoria, South Africa. He had British parents, and his father was in the military in South Africa, and his mother was British. So that means they're not truly from South Africa. Elon Musk grows up in South Africa, and he gets to know a Canadian woman by the name of May Heldman, and they get married. This woman is Elon's mother. When May would talk about Elon's dad, Elon Musk, she would say when he wanted something, he would not give up. And that was one of the main reasons she married him, because you could kind of say he would not leave her alone. May continues and says the same personality could be found in Elon, and when he wants to do something, he will never let go. Elon's first wife, Justine, says the same thing about him. She always tells stories that they used to go to college together, and Elon Musk would not leave her alone and keep asking her out over and over. In this case, you could say Elon and Elon Musk have the similar personality in that aspect. But obsession is not a bad thing in most cases, and most successful people are obsessed with what they do, and they won't let go until it's done. Either way, Elon Musk and May Heldman get married, and after 1 year, they bring a son into the world, named Elon. Both of his parents say Elon Musk as a child was a very weird person. Weird as in he wanted to know pretty much everything. He would ask questions that they couldn't even answer. From age 3, he would ask questions about the universe, galaxies, and how big the world is. What did Elon do in South Africa? He was a shareholder for an emerald mine in Zambia. And he had a job in South Africa that involved engineering. You could say with the help of the mine and the job he had, they had a very good life in the beginning. Even Elon Musk says, in terms of electrical and mechanical engineering, his dad is pretty much a genius. Since Elon Musk was an engineer, he would also work in construction. And whenever he went to construction sites, he would take Elon and his brother Kimball Musk to the job site to show him what's happening. Elon Musk would always explain to his sons how things work and how things are laid out in a construction site, especially in terms of electrical and plumbing. When we get to the 1980s, Elon Musk's dad buys him a computer. And this is a time where barely anybody has computers in the world. At this time, when Elon is 11 years old, he falls in love with computers, and he asks his dad to send him to programming schools, but he's only 11 years old. Elon goes out to find some classes for programming, but he then realized that the only class available at that time is in the University of Johannesburg. He tries to sign up for his son, but they say an 11-year-old cannot go to college. Elon was a known engineer around that area. That is why he could pull some strings and get a class for his son so he can try out for one time. And he enters a 3-hour session. After 3 hours, Elon goes to pick him up from college, but nobody comes out. They wait in the car for more than 20 minutes and he still didn't show up. Elon gets out of the car and enters the university to find his son. When he enters the classroom, he sees that Elon is speaking with the professor. And you could say the professors were very locked in the conversation, not like they're speaking to some child. When the professor sees Elon's dad, he tells him that your son is a very special kid and you have to get one of these computers we have right here. And they were known as the most advanced computers around that era. When Elon sees a professor complimenting his son like that, he immediately goes and buys a computer for his son again. When the computer arrives, Elon falls in love with programming and he becomes a master at it. Even though Elon's parents hated each other and they were separated 3 years before this happened, but all he wanted to do was program with computers. Elon never really said why he calls his dad evil, but he would say whatever his dad did was very selfish and all the decision he made was all about him, and that's how he treated everybody in the family. Elon admits that he did buy a lot of things that he wanted, but he made life very difficult for our family. But let's get to know his dad a little bit more. One time when Elon was alone in his house, 3 people broke into his house to rob him, but he had a weapon and he killed all 3 of them. And since it was self-defense, the police could not do anything about it, so they didn't take him to jail. Another thing that happened is that when Elon Musk found a girlfriend after he got divorced, he got his girlfriend's daughter pregnant. There was another reason why the whole family was not happy about Elon Musk. Elon has not stayed quiet about Elon Musk either. He explained that he gave everything his family wanted, but they still talk bad about me. He even calls Elon Musk a scared man. Another thing Elon says that even though his father was well off and had a lot of money, he still didn't pay for his college and told him to get a loan. In South Africa, not only was Elon mad at his dad, but he was tired of the whole environment. He collects $2,000 and he decides to fly to Canada. Elon goes to Canada, but his eyes was always to the US, mainly the Silicon Valley, because that's where technology was happening. His mother and his brother and sister also joined him in Canada. After this, Elon did not really have a connection with his family anymore. Elon, his brother and sister, and his mother were forced to live in a very smart apartment in Canada. When Elon wanted to move to Canada from South Africa, his dad asked him, "Where do you want to go?" Elon said he wants to go to Canada so he can go to college, and Elon tells him that he won't last 3 months and you'll be back because you can't survive on your own. But it seems like it didn't work out because this guy that couldn't hold himself became the richest man in the world, and he created way too many companies that were all successful. He was one of the first people to create an electric car that actually hit production, and with this, he completely changed the car industry. He started SpaceX and has a vision of reaching Mars in a few years. He started the Boring Company so he can eliminate traffic in cities. He started Neuralink, which we made a video on, and recently he bought Twitter so he can reopen freedom of speech. Because before then, if you said something inappropriate or controversial on Twitter, your account would be banned forever. But where is Elon now? He still lives in South Africa, and he doesn't really have a connection with his family anymore. And one of the main people in Elon's life is his brother, because from the very beginning, he has been along his brother's side and helped him along the way. There's another story about these two that you should know about. Elon said that when they were working and didn't have a lot of money, they had a small apartment and an office building. But his brother Kimball suggested we should return the apartment and live in the office until we make it. And that's exactly what they did. This story of the richest man in the world was very interesting. What do you guys think?